Travis Kelce proposing to Taylor Swift is a prime example of how black women are constantly overlooked when it comes to commitment, longevity, proposals, weddings, and these men choosing us. Prior to Taylor Swift, Kelce dated Kayla, who was a black woman, for over 6 years. And that wasn't enough time for him to realize he wanted to be with her, to build a legacy, to propose, to commit. But 2 years was enough. Now, somebody might argue me and say, well, maybe Taylor Swift was more his type. Maybe that may be true. But how is a girl not your type if you're with her for 6 years? If you ever been to a college graduation and you see the graduates, have you ever seen the young white women and how they have their rings already? 23, 24-year-old women.
Let me just address 2 points that she's talking about right there, first and foremost. It's not that she wasn't his type because they dated for 6 years, because she had to have been his type for him to get with her in the first place. Did you ever stop and think that maybe it has something to do with the fact that maybe there was more of a connection with Taylor Swift? Maybe there was more of a bond there that he didn't necessarily have. You know, it's true what they say. When a man knows what he wants, he knows what he wants, and he will usually he will know within months to a year whether he wants to marry a woman or not. If a man is with you for a long period of time, let's say a year, let's say 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, and he doesn't know whether he wants to spend the rest of his life with you or he wants to put a ring on that finger, that man he's truly not committed to you in that sense. He doesn't see himself with you. And it might be that there might be something wrong with you, or not necessarily something wrong with you, but something that he doesn't see quite right in the relationship. And I've seen this little argument that they're talking about. They're making this about race. It's not about race. Like, oh yeah, these white boys will date, black women, and then they'll dump them and go for the white girl or whatever. They just use them as toys. It's like, no, that's not the case. I see this all the time. When you meet somebody and you have a connection, you know right away whether you want to pursue something further, at least as a man. Women, now from what I've heard and personal experiences, is that it takes them a little bit longer to warm up to you. So he was with her for 6 years. Yeah, of course she was his type, or else he wouldn't have gotten with her, because she was a beautiful woman. But again, maybe there was more of a connection with Taylor Swift. And she talked about the women in the graduation, the girls that are graduating from college and they already have their ring on their fingers. That's culture, baby. That's culture. Your culture does not value starting a family, going to school, not necessarily not going to school, but starting a family young and building a legacy together. Your culture, based on the music and a lot of the things that are going on within the black community, values fucking hoes, going to the club, having baby mamas, calling women bitches. And that's the sad reality. Now, the black community wasn't always like that. The black community, back when there was segregation, when there was Jim Crow laws, and again, I'm not trying to make this about that topic, but back when it was when that system was in place, back in the 60s, the 70s, and maybe a little bit of the 80s, black families had a marriage rate of like 75 to 80%. So what happened? What changed within the community that they stopped valuing being together and building a family together, to then just fuck bitches and get money, and just the denigration of the black culture and the black community? It's all in the music. It all happened because the black community decided to embrace the garbage parts of its culture. And I talk about this, and people always like to say, well, you're not black, you shouldn't be talking about black issues. Well, somebody has to say it, because when another black person fucking says it, you guys just say, oh, you're a coon, or you're an Uncle Tom, or you're this and you're that. And it's like, no, at some point, the black community has to take accountability and responsibility for the actions that happen within the black community. At some point, they have to look inward and say, maybe we have to change something about our culture. Maybe we have to stop glorifying being a gangbanger, or the only way that you see out the hood is, instead of being a doctor or being a lawyer, a lot of the times is, I got to play football, I got to play basketball, or I got to become a rapper. Why is it that most young black kids, young black men, that's the shit they aspire to do? Football, basketball, or a rapper? Nothing else. Why? Because that's inculcated within the black community. That's what they see on TV. That's what they see, all these black football players getting money, fucking all these hoes, having all these kids with all these women. They see all these basketball players doing the same thing, or they see these rappers with the bitches, with the money, flashing the money, all this shit, and that's what they want to do. Never did they think about, oh, let me become a doctor. Let me go to school for college for 8 years and become a doctor. Let me go to college for 5, 6 years or whatever it is and become a lawyer. Let me make an honest living. And again, I'm not talking about the entirety of the black community, because there are parts of the black community that are good, and there are a lot of good black people within the black community. But there is a significant amount of people within the black community that's bad and glorifies and wants to be part of the negative within the black community. And I know I'm going off on a tangent because this is really about the relationship between Taylor Swift and Kelsey. I can't remember his name right now. And him dumping a black woman to date a white one. And, so I guess he's just not supposed to, once you go black, like they say, you never go back. He's just not supposed to date white women or women of other race, because if not, it's seen as racist. But let's continue. Let's hear what else she has to say.
Men already proposed to, because there's a plan. They have a plan in life that they know that they have to get married, start family, start legacy, and build up from there. When it comes to black women, they just want to make us baby mamas and leave us.
White guys aren't making black women baby mamas. You see, this is where you're wrong. Because it's black men making black women baby mamas. Most black women stick to black men anyways. They don't even like white guys. So the attraction goes both ways. If a white guy likes a black woman, but the black woman doesn't like white guys, she's not going to date him. So it goes both ways. But it isn't usually black guys leaving, or white guys leaving black women and making them baby mamas. That's the men within your community.
And they just want to never commit fully and not treat us the same as far as being chosen like other races. And the fact that women are really not in control of proposing, we're waiting for these men to give us what we deserve, but it just never comes. Therefore,
why do you think you deserve a ring? Why do you think you deserve proposal? Again, it goes back to the culture within the black community. A lot of black women are not very pleasant to be around. They like to act like men. They like to be rough. They like to be aggressive. They like to yell. Even people within the black community will tell you, like, black women are just sometimes are insufferable. They got this attitude. They want to yell at you. They embrace the ghetto parts of the culture instead of being classy. So why do you think a man who has his shit together or wants to build a family, why do you think a man would want to choose something like that over, let's say, Becky or Maria, who are women who act more reserved, more docile, more pleasant, like to cook for their men? Because a lot of these black women tell you they don't like to cook for their men either. They don't like to do shit for their men. They just want to, hey, do you have $1? Hey, let's go on a date. I invite a black woman to a date. And what is she going to ask me? Can you send me some money so I can do my lashes? Can you send me some money so I can do my hair? We're going on a date on a first day at that, and you want me to pay for the things that you're supposed to take care of yourself? How am I ever going to want to take something like that serious? I'm not. And then you'll see some black women, 2, 3, 4 kids, and then they're like, we're all the good men. You let them go the moment you decided to have 4 different babies by 3 different baby daddies. And then you want to blame men for the poor choices that you made in your life. But let's continue.
We then have to leave. Therefore, that we create a broken family, a broken household, and it continues and continues until black men start choosing us like other races choose their people, their women. Until black men start choosing us, the narrative is never going to stop. The broken family dynamic is never going to stop, or black women have to be chosen by other men, and that's not always a given either.
What I will say is this: change the culture within the black community, and all this shit will change. Bring the culture back, the old culture within the black community, where they believed in family cohesion and family togetherness and marriage and being together for a long time and raising a family and building a legacy. Bring that back, And I think you'll solve a lot of the problems within the black community. Until that happens, the cycle is just going to continue. But that's all I got to say for this video, guys. I've spoken enough. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. And if you like this video, hit that like button, that subscribe button, and share this video with your friends. And if you have anything you want me to react to, my email is in the description box below. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.